So today for the agenda, we're going to be going through Screencast-O-Matic, kind of what it is, how to download it. We'll go over how to record, how to edit, go through some best practices there. I'm going to show you a video that I created for a customer, and then once I made some edits, I'll show you kind of the before and after and how that looks. And then we'll talk about some key takeaways and other best practices. But for Screencast-O-Matic, what is it? It's a screen recording tool and a video editing software tool that can be launched directly from your browser or as a downloaded application on your computer. And on their website, Screencast-O-Matic, they say, video simplifies communication. We simplified how videos get created. So I'm really excited to go through the tool with you today to show you just how easy it can be. Whoops, let's go back there. So what is Screencast-O-Matic again? Now don't worry, here's a picture of what it's going to look like, but we'll actually run through the tool itself so you can see it in action. But I wanted to introduce it as, something that's easy to use. It's got a clean user interface, and it's great for recording and editing videos. And it's fun too. So how we download this, if you haven't already, basically when you log into Consensus, you'll click Demo Management on the far left-hand side, and then you'll go down to the bottom where it says Screen Recorder, which will direct you to the Screencast-O-Matic website. And once you get here, once you get to this page, this orange button at the top where it says Sign Up, it's free. I know it looks eye-catching and it really pops, but don't click on that. Basically, I mean, if you're a Consensus customer, you've got access to Screencast-O-Matic, so you don't have to sign up for it. All you'll have to do is just click this download install button and then follow the steps that it lays out for you. And before we jump into the tool itself, I wanted to put this on the table. This quote is from an episode of The Office where the boss, Michael Scott, is trying to come up with an idea for a commercial to advertise his paper company. And here's what he came up with. It says, little girl in a field holding a flower. We zoom back to find she's in the desert, and the field is an oasis. Zoom back further, the desert is a sandbox in the world's largest resort hotel. Zoom back further, the hotel is actually a playground of the world's largest prison. But if we zoom back further, and he gets cut off there, but he clearly overcomplicated it. So when you're planning and recording and editing these feature videos that you're trying to upload to Consensus, be sure to keep it simple. So that's just something I wanted to keep in mind. Wanted you to keep in mind as we run through the tool. So let's go ahead and get our hands dirty and see what this tool is all about. So here I am in the Screencast-O-Matic tool. Once I've got it downloaded, I've got it open, and I'm going to show you really quickly how to record. So up here, I'm going to hit record. It's going to launch a recorder. It's going to take whatever website I'm on, get rid of that. Once we load up here, there we go. So I mean, you can see my background desktop with that nice pretty island there. And it gives you some options. So we've got, we can record our screen, we can record, just our webcam, or we can do a combination of both. And a best practice here when recording with Screencast-O-Matic is to do both. So if you're explaining, in a feature video how to do a certain thing on your website or with your tool, have your webcam on. And then in the tool, when you're editing, if you don't like it, you can take it off, or put it back on at certain parts. So it's a good option there. You can set a max time for how long you want to record. The size, as far as size goes, best practice is 1080p. I'll leave this size here just because I want you to see what's going on here. And then you're able to narrate, and then you can have your computer audio on as well. So I'll go ahead and hit record here. Gives you a nice little countdown. And there we go. So we're now recording. So I can tell, everybody about this nice, beautiful island off the coast of California, Catalina, I think. And so I'll go ahead and stop that there. So if I hit done, I can go ahead and edit the video. I can save it and upload it. So I'll go ahead and edit that. There we go. And instead of editing this one, I'm actually going to go back to my recordings because I've got one ready to go here. Mail merge, there we go. So this is a video that I created for one of our customers a couple weeks ago. They had a question. They said, "Hey, can we hop on a call about a mail merge?" And I didn't quite have time for a call, so I just created a quick 3-minute video for them to for them to see it in action. So I'm going to play this for you. It's been totally undoctored, unedited, except for one thing. I did blur over one image that has some sensitive content with just company names. And this is going to be far more painful for me than it is for you because I hate the sound of my own voice, but let's go ahead and play this for you.
So this will be a brief explanation of our mail merge feature on the Consensus platform. The mail merge feature allows you to create multiple demo boards at once for multiple recipients. So instead of creating a demo board for each prospect one by one, you can create demo boards for many recipients all in one shot with the email blast tool that you're using. So what you're going to do in your Consensus dashboard, you're going to go up here to this little cog image, click on that, and all the way down at the bottom you click on mail merge. And I've got one here already, but we're going to go ahead and create a new one. So click on create new. You're going to title the mail merge link whatever you want. I'm going to call this testing 1, 2, 3. And for the demo, you pick which demo you want these recipients to see. I'm going to go ahead and select this one. And then the format, here at Consensus, we use HubSpot, but you're able to use which platform you guys have. Combine recipients with the same organization into a single demo board. This allows anybody that you're sending to on the list from the same company to all be visible on the same demo board, so that all their names will show up when they click on the link that you send them. So if you have a CEO and a COO or CMO, whatever, they're all going to know that, hey, the other people on my team have been sent this as well. So let's go ahead and turn that on. Tracking and notifications. This allows you to designate anyone else you'd like to receive notifications for. If I was to add my boss in here, Alex, I could do that as well. I can't do that here because this is my test account and he's not in my account. But anybody in your organization that you want to receive notifications about when people watch the demos, or to be able to view the Demolytics, you can go ahead and add them here. So we'll go ahead and click create the link. And once you have the link, we're going to copy and paste it into the email template that you'll be using for the mail merge. So if I have a list over here of everybody I'm going to be sending this to, it's important to note that the mail merge format's already defined in the Consensus platform, or for the default field names for these following: the first name, last name, company, email, and title is optional. But there you have the mail merge. Pretty simple. Please let me know if you have any questions.
All right, so please raise your hand if you thought that video was okay. Like we can get by with sending that to a customer. Okay, got a couple there. All right, good. So thank you for that. So what I'm going to do here, yeah, I think that video is okay, but it can definitely be better. It can definitely be cleaned up. So I'm going to edit that, and once I hit edit, it's going to take me into the editor tool. So on the right-hand side here, I can actually remove all the narration and then add my own again. I can actually turn it down too. So if that was a little bit loud, I can turn that down, or I can turn it up if it wasn't loud enough. I can add some nice music, which I think I will do, just as a nice background effect. And this is all royalty-free music that's in the tool already. So, you know, you've got, you know, if you want it to be for children or Latin, pop, you know, you've got the options there. For my recent, I did Happy Mood, so I think that's a good one. So, so I've got some music on there now, and I'm going to show you once we've done all these edits what it will look like once it's cleaned up a bit. But for the beginning, when I go back here, for the first 20 or so seconds, I wasn't doing anything. So I was just on this page, just talking about the mail merge, and I don't really like that. So I'm gonna go over here and add an image. Or I'm sorry, I'm gonna go to Tools. And here we've got all the tools we can cut. So if I was rambling in a couple spots, I can delete that. You know, we can copy certain sections of it if we want to show it again. We can hide the cursor or the webcam. You can insert new recordings, you know, pause it, paste recordings, add new narration. So if I wanted to get rid of all my narration, or even just a couple seconds or spots of it that I, you know, if I cough or sneeze or something like that, I can replace that. Overlay, this is a big one. I really like this this tool, and we'll come back to this in a moment. But you can also replace videos or freeze the frame, speed up or slow down your speed, add some nice transitions if the video calls for it, and then you can change the volume too. So if I was talking too softly at some parts, I can turn that up. So for overlay, I'm going to add an image just at the front of this. There we go. So I'm going to add this mail merge image that I pre-selected, and I'm going to make it go for about 22 seconds. I think that was to where I really started getting into you know what this, you know, the meat and potatoes of my my video. So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. So once if I go over here to this time, this will be showing throughout
with the email blast tool that you're using.
And then it'll
so
go into
what you're going to do,
what I actually wanted to show. So I like that. There were a couple spots over here where I was just rambling. You know, I don't know what my problem was, but maybe I was talking in circles, and that can happen. So I want to cut that out. So at let's see, it was at 1 minute and 15 seconds. There we go, 1:15. So I'm going to go ahead and go to Tools. I'm going to cut, and then I'm just going to drag this along for how long I was rambling on for, which was quite a bit actually. So I'm going to go to 1:39. 1:39 more or less. There we go. And you can get more granular, you know, to make sure that these timings are you know, spot on to where you want them to be cut. And you can play it and see, you know, that's not right. I gotta bring it back a little bit or something like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut that out because I was rambling. And then later on too, at a minute 58, I was rambling again. So I'm gonna just hit cut because it remembers the last thing that you did. I'm gonna cut, and I'm gonna go to 2:02. And I will hit OK to cut that. And then something that probably my favorite thing about this, about all these tools, is the highlight feature. So if I go back to about 30 seconds, where I'm really getting into the tool, I click this little cog image there. So I'm going to go ahead and go to Tools, Overlay, and then I'm going to highlight it because it's kind of small, as you can see. So we're gonna make this pop a little bit more. So let's take this over here. I want everybody to see what I'm doing over here. That's a little bit more clear. And then I'm gonna add zoom so it gets a little bit bigger. And then I can make it stretch a little bit so we can see exactly what's going on. And then I can make it you know, last for as long as I'd like. I can pull it all throughout the whole presentation, but I'll just go to about 33 seconds. Let's do, there we go. Perfect. Okay, so, and again, I'm going to show you this all these different effects in the final product video. So I think that'll be really good. So we've got some music, and then later on, if you want, I mean, depending, I didn't do this in the final video, but I think it's good to highlight something like an image, and again, an overlay image that maybe you just want to have pop up for a second, and it doesn't have to cover the whole screen. But let's do this. So I've got the Consensus logo, and maybe I want it to, pop up for whatever logo you have. I can move that down here. I just want it to go for about 5 or 6 seconds, and that'll show up, and I'll show you that right here because I don't have it in the final product.
Which platform you guys have.
So
combine recipients with the
would
same
be
organization.
Really, help conceptualize exactly what message that you're trying to send. So however whatever you think will enhance the viewer's experience and help get the most out of it, we want to do that. And then later on, if we want to add an image or a shape, we can do a circle let's do a rectangle to really highlight something as well. Like I really want them to focus on this for a second. We can do that as well. But one of the things, last thing I want to show you, and there's a lot to unpack here. There's so many different options and tools that you can really mess around and play around with here. But last thing I wanted to show you was the transition. So when I cut this here, the mouse might jump from one place to another really quick, and I want there to be kind of a clean transition. So I'll go to the point where it was cut. I'll go to Tools. I'll hit Transition, and you can click the type, and you've got a lot of options here. So Fade is a good one. Mirage. Let's do Push. I want it to push it to the right. So if I hit OK, it'll save that. And so then if I hit play,
this allows any as well. So
nice
let's go ahead and turn that on.
Perfect. All right, but that is pretty much it for the Screencast-O-Matic tool that I wanted to show you. So let's see this in action. So if I go over here to this over here, I created a single video demo within Consensus. So let's take a look at this and see how it goes.
This will be a brief explanation of our mail merge feature on the Consensus platform. The mail merge feature allows you to create multiple demo boards at once for multiple recipients. So instead of creating a demo board for each prospect one by one, you can create demo boards for many recipients all in one shot with the email blast tool that you're using. So what you're going to do in your Consensus dashboard, you're going to go up here to this little cog image, click on that, and all the way down at the bottom you click on Mail Merge. And we've got one here already, but we're going to go ahead and create a new one. So click on Create New. You're going to title the Mail Merge link whatever you want. I'm going to call this Testing 1, 2, 3. And for the demo, you pick which demo you want these recipients to see. I'm going to go ahead and select this one. And then the format, here at Consensus, we use HubSpot, but you're able to use which platform you guys have. Combine recipients with the same organization into a single demo board. This allows anybody that you're sending to on the list from the same company to all be visible on the same demo board, so that all their names will show up when they click on the link that you send them. So let's go ahead and turn that on. Tracking and notifications. This allows you to designate anyone else you'd like to receive notifications for. I could do that as well. But anybody in your organization that you want to receive notifications about when people watch the demos, or to be able to view the Demolytics, you can go ahead and add them here. So we'll go ahead and click create the link. And once you have the link, we're going to copy and paste it into the email template that you'll be using for the mail merge. So if I have a list over here of everybody I'm going to be sending this to, it's important to note that the mail merge formats already defined in the Consensus platform are for the default field names for these following: the first name, last name, company, email, and title is optional. But there you have the mail merge, pretty simple. Please let me know if you have any questions.
All right, so what did we think? Was that better than the original video you guys saw? Can you raise your hand if you thought that was maybe a little bit better? Nice, thank you so much for that. You know, it really isn't a difficult tool to use. It's very simple. But one thing I wanted to help you keep in mind, kind of our mantra here at Consensus, is to think YouTube, not Hollywood. And these are some of my favorite movies that I put on here, but we're not trying to create the next, you know, Christopher Nolan film or the next episode of The Mandalorian. You know, I'm sure we've all turned to YouTube to learn how to do something like how to turn your camera on and zoom, or how to finish your basement, or even how to deep fry a turkey. Happy Thanksgiving soon, by the way. But if I'm looking to buy a product and I want to watch a video about it, I'm not looking to be entertained. I'm looking to be educated. And don't get me wrong, YouTube can definitely be entertaining, but for the most part, it's raw and it's real. You know, it's authentic, and that's what we're going for. And this is a quote by our CEO, Garen Hess. He says, "While viewers today can appreciate good production quality, it isn't necessary to be considered a great video. Viewers today would much prefer video with great content over a well-produced video that doesn't have the content that they want." And now this is not a bold claim, you know, that viewers prefer content over a well-produced video with irrelevant content. You know, this is common sense. And at Consensus, we've done extensive testing between these YouTube-style videos and highly produced and polished videos to see which get better engagement. And the results are clear. Authentic videos get better engagement, hands down. And you don't have to take my word for it. If you'd like more details on the testing that we've done, our CEO, Garen Hess, actually, he published a link, or he published a LinkedIn article about that testing. Brian, if you have that link, will you post it into the chat there? Oh, there we go. He's ahead of the game. Thank you for that. But basically, we've found that it takes 5 times less time to produce an authentic video than one that is highly produced. So between those two, the YouTube and the authentic ones, the authentic video gets 3 times more engagement. And you know, this is actually really good news for your company or for your organization, because authentic videos are cheaper to make and take far less time to produce, and you get better engagement with them. So some key takeaways that I wanted to highlight. One, it's such a simple tool. If you haven't downloaded and played around with it, I highly recommend it. It's a great resource for content creation. And remember, don't be like Michael Scott. Keep it simple and don't overcomplicate the message that you're trying to send. And make sure the content that you're sharing is authentic. So don't look to entertain your audience, seek to educate them. And again, we're not going for a Hollywood style production, but it doesn't hurt to make a few edits to clean up your video and give it a little bit of a shine. And remember, content is king. So your viewers want quality content over quick cuts and flashing lights. But that is it for the presentation. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. Brian, are there any questions in the Q&A section?
Yeah, let's jump into some of the questions that came up along the way. And thanks again, Derek, for jumping through this. Screencast-O-Matic is a really cool tool, and we're happy to be able to provide it to our users. So the first one that came up is, how long did it take you to make all of the edits on that video from start to finish? Or maybe on average, how long do you typically spend on editing so that it's not over-edited and maintains that authenticity?
Yeah, that's a great question. For this, for that final product video that I just showed everybody, um, I didn't time myself, but I probably took about 25, maybe 30 minutes. And the biggest time consumption is just getting the timing right. Like where I was making the cuts of things that I didn't like that I was when I was rambling on, making sure that the transitions were nice. But yeah, it really didn't take me too long at all. For a 3-minute video, I cut it down to 2.5 minutes in about 25, 30 minutes.
Perfect. Thanks, Derek. So a follow-up question on that is, if you have a lot of, let's say, ums and ahs in your video, do you recommend keeping some of those in for authenticity or pulling all of them out, or what's your rule of thumb for that?
Yeah, that's a really good thought. I would say that it's definitely okay to have a few ums and ahs, um, just because we're real people, and kind of our brains don't work the way that we want them to all the time. Um, if you've got too many, maybe consider cutting them out. But for the most part, I think that's great for an authentic feel.
Perfect. Great. So another question was, how do I know if I have access to Screencast-O-Matic?
Oh, so if you're a consensus customer, your organization, as a whole definitely has access. Whether you as an end user has it, it all depends on your role. So pretty much any role like admin, marketing, content creator, has access to this. The only one I think that doesn't would be the sales role. So there's a difference. We've got two sales roles. So we've got the sales and then sales with user-owned demos roles. And these guys over here, the sales with user-owned demos, they're able to create their own content and send it out. These guys over here, just the sales, I don't think that they're allowed to create content. They just send out whatever is given to them. So when in doubt, I would ask your admin about who has access, and if you'd like access, to see what they can do for you.
Okay, perfect. Another question we got was, do I have to use Screencast-O-Matic with Consensus, or can I use a different software if I already have one?
Yeah, no, you don't. You don't have to use Screencast-O-Matic for sure. I've got plenty of customers that use Camtasia or Adobe Premiere, and that works great for them. Maybe they've tried out Screencast-O-Matic. I'm not sure, but I always tell my customers, do what's best for you, what's easiest. So if you're familiar with another tool that works well for you, stick with that. But always, of course, feel free to utilize Screencast-O-Matic, because more than likely you've got access.
Okay, great. And it looks like there was one more question to finish it up, and that is, someone asked what the difference is between Screencast-O-Matic and some of the other video editing tools.
Ooh, I'm actually not terribly familiar with the functionality of, say, Adobe Premiere or Camtasia. I know that they work well for those who use it, but to be honest, I'm not terribly familiar with all the differences.
Okay, great. Just to throw my 2 cents in there, from what I've experienced with Screencast-O-Matic and other tools, is it feels like Screencast-O-Matic has taken that 80% of what most users want to do and have created a system that does that 80% incredibly well. If you're looking for something that does that kind of higher level 20% that those professional video editors want to do, that's where some of those tools like Adobe Premiere and others can come into play. But I found you can get the vast majority of what you're looking to do right in Screencast-O-Matic with my own experience.
Nice, thank you, Brian.
No problem. That's the last question we have. So if you want to give some insight into what's coming up next, we'll call it good for today.
Yeah, let's talk about that. All right, so at the top of the hour, we've got 6 types of video content to help progress your sales cycle with Thomas Edwards, and he's the senior manager of finance transformation at EMEA. At Trintech. So that'll be the first track. Track 2, actually, we've got our very own Brian Zurcher presenting with Alex Edwards, our director of client success. and they're going to be talking about, well, it's a secret, I guess. So keep it secret, keep it safe. But we'll see you at the next session. And thank you so much, everybody, for attending.